The Australian Security Academy acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises the continuing connection to lands, waters and communities. We pay our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to elders past and present. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this series of live streams contains images or names of people who have passed away. Hi investigators, Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy, and I'm not talking to Casey.
I think I'm going to have to hire for a new CEO. He keeps mucking things up today.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to episode 330 of Spy Curious. My name is Casey Evans, and this is with me today is Mike Evans.
This is the professional program for licensed private investigators, government investigators and corporate investigators throughout Australia, brought to you by professional licensed private investigators who don't throw hissy fits on Friday afternoon. Have you had a busy week, Casey?
Very busy week.
Why are you working on a public holiday in Queensland on the Gold Coast for show day?
Oh, because I need a new job, I think.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Have fun driving 3 hours to work every day, Casey. Did the fireworks keep you awake last night?
No, they didn't actually. I was fast asleep.
Oh, right.
Oh, Chai Fiji, that is not fair. I will be there in October. You'll have to give me some tips. How lovely. Thank you for joining us from your holiday.
G'day, Emily. G'day, Jai. Great to see you. Thanks for saying hello, people. It really fires us right up. G'day, Nita. Great to see you, mate. Really fires us right up when we know we've got an audience who are kind enough to say g'day every week. And when they join the program, g'day, Michelle. I hope things are great down in beautiful Byron Bay in northern New South Wales. It'll be a glorious day down there and be full of people from the Gold Coast to travel down to take advantage of the long weekend. You better come up here with us where it's nice and quiet, Michelle. So get away from the hustle and bustle. This week in investigations down in Victoria, it was in the press that some AFL footballers who have concussion claims with Zurich Insurance have had their investigations reported back to Zurich, OSINT investigations, and one of them contained one of the subject of that OSINT investigation, their password for their internet, and 314 files were accessed in relation to the use of that password and in the report. Now, this is massive news that could actually happen. And we don't teach that type of thing here at the Australian Security Academy. We're not about that at all. The reports were done by an actual investigation agency with a master license in New South Wales who has registered licensed investigators in New South Wales. And on their website, it says that they only use appropriately qualified and licensed people to do their work. Now, with this one, the investigation was done by a New South Wales investigation agency. We don't know where those 4 AFL footballers actually lived. It was reported in the Herald Sun, so the big assumption is that they're in Victoria, but one of the players used to play for Adelaide, and footballers move around. Now, all of these people who have these concussion claims are quite badly affected by it for various reasons, so they have put in a claim. If you've ever met someone or worked in an area like Headway, with people with head injuries, that sort of thing, these things come from a range of different reasons, but AFL football, you're going to get hit hard, very hard, and these people have taken too many hard knocks, so as a result of that, their ability to work has been diminished. Therefore, they must pursue a claim for compensation for their future income and their future health, and they're doing that. Now, I don't know what the size of those claims are. I haven't seen them. I have no information on that. All I can see is what was reported in the media in relation to it. And it's, whoops, that's the wrong one. Basically, the Herald Sun reported it, that there was 4 of such footballers, and basically the issues with the OSINT not being done correctly. They all suffer from severe symptoms. And one of the things that you must know about elite level football is they don't just get hit hard during a game by the opposition, because big incomes here are at stake. Everybody wants to play in the first grade team and make it. So you might think they're all friendly and like each other. They belt the hell out of each other at training too. It's a risk you take when you get into this level of sport. But these people are suffering badly as a result of their work. So their claims for that concussion have been put in. I'm going to leave you with Casey for a moment. You are watching episode 330 of Spy Curious. Over to you, Case. I've got to get a drink. My voice.
Okay. Well, that's actually a perfect segue into what I would like to talk about today. And that is one of my favorite people that I follow on LinkedIn. Ritu from Forensic OSINT put up a post essentially about an article that Paul Wright wrote, and it's about moving beyond OSINT Cowboy. And this is where I get to do my shameless plug that if you come along to my OSINT for Beginners course, which is running next week in Melbourne, you will not be an OSINT cowboy. You will know not to put passwords into an investigation report. There are very strict boundaries about what you can and what you can't do. And OSINT for Beginners isn't just me teaching you how to find things on social media or on Google or on Bing. It's also about the foundational principles of the intelligence cycle, the ethics and legalities around OSINT. When you become good at doing OSINT, or when you become good at desktop investigations, you will come across people's passwords. But it doesn't mean you get to use them, and it does not mean that you should put them in a report. As investigators, we are licensed to do civil and commercial work. We are not police officers. If you're putting a report together for the police, absolutely, put the password in there. That can be very helpful for the police. But when it comes to civil and commercial investigation reports, you steer clear of it. And those are the types of things that you will learn in OSINT for Beginners. We're trying to really move people away from that free-for-all thinking when it comes to open source intelligence. Just because it's out there does not mean you just get free rein. So, sorry, I'm just going to see who's putting up things. Yes. And it's just not something that you're not going to be able to keep your license. We are licensed individuals. So we have rules that we need to adhere to. And I find the difference between a really good investigator and an OSINT cowboy is when you get into this line of work, you really enjoy it. You're going after that information and you like putting the reports together, and you have a real balance of understanding what should go in and the legalities to it. But you also understand that you have an idea that privacy is important as well. A lot of people get really upset when tools are taken away from you as an OSINT professional. It's like one day we can look at this and the next day we can't. And that's when it's a kind of loss for open source intelligence. It's a win for privacy. and understanding that just because you're looking into someone, you might be working for a client over here and you're looking into someone over here, you still have to preserve that person's dignity and privacy. And that we go into that a lot. So it's really important to remember that. And that's the difference between a good investigator who has their head around the ethics and legalities and an OSINT cowboy. So always keep that in mind. If you're using their password, doesn't that no longer make it? Correct, Jai, exactly. So I liken it to you're walking down the street and you've found a key to someone's front door outside their house. And just because you found that key does not mean you get to go in and open that house and just have a free-for-all. It doesn't mean it's your house now. It doesn't mean you get to go in there and look through things. It's very, very illegal. Finding a password is the exact same thing. The only person that you should ever be handing passwords over is to the police. And we have one more. Oh, hi. Hi, Judith. Thanks for coming along. So yes, it's a really great, where's my media gone? Sorry. If you're not following Forensic OSINT and you're interested in desktop investigations, and connect with Ritu, she is amazing. She will be speaking at the OSINT Symposium, which I think is, it's either this month or next month. I'm not sure when it is, but I'm going along and I'm going along and I'm going to be there to learn just like everybody else. I keep up to date with everything. So I'm really looking forward to this. And Ritu just puts out incredible information day after day after day. I like your newsletter comment where investigators were caught using tracking devices. If you know your trade and have the skills, exactly. Thank you. This is the perfect segue, Amanda, into my next point. So if you are, oh, hi, Amber, good to see you. Hope it's warming up down there for you because it's certainly warming up down here. I'm feeling a little bit hot in my skivvy today. So yes, if you are subscribed to our newsletter, you would have received the newsletter, and I talked about an article that I came across. So there was some, like, obviously it's very dramatic, the headline, private eyes embroiled in explosive sibling rivalry after allegedly being hired by millionaire property developer. So there are 3 private investigators who are now facing charges because they used tracking devices. There is only one reason you should ever be able to use a tracking device as a private investigator. That is because the person that you are tracking knows that you're tracking them and has given you express consent, like in every way, shape, and form. Not only just verbal, I would say written, you will do everything. If you're tracking someone to make, like if you're doing counter surveillance or something like that, that's the only reason I can think of any investigator using a tracking device. You cannot use a tracking device on a subject's car. You can't go, oh, I'm going to track I'm doing surveillance on this person. It's just going to be easier if I chuck a tracker on them. It is against the law in every single state. So some have explicit laws about it. Others, you're breaching privacy. Others fall under stalking. So there are no special powers around trackers. Like we've known for a very long time that as investigators, we can't go and bug a premises. And it's the same that you can't use tracking devices. So, and I said in the newsletter as well that sometimes we get a lot of investigators who've worked in intelligence in some form or another, and they bring those kind of old habits and that tech from their profession. So if they're in the army or if they're police officers that got to use that technology, they often kind of bring it into this sphere, and it's just a massive no-no. So if you are using these technologies, it's not okay. And if you are caught, you are going to lose your license. This whole thing has blown up the careers of 3 very, as far as I can tell, good investigators. They're good investigators. They've just bought old habits, this is me making an assumption, into this field where they shouldn't be doing it. So, and that's why I don't mention names like the art. You can go look it up. the article mentions names. This is not a witch hunt. This is a learning moment because people make mistakes and they are paying the price for their mistake. They've lost their licenses. They're looking at jail time. So just don't use tracking devices at all. And with the tracking device that they used, they not only used the tracking device, but they handed over the details of where the tracker said that the person had gone. And that's 2 offences, 2 different offences as well. We have skills in our skill set, which we don't have to use tracking devices. You can use OSINT. You can use surveillance. So a tracking device is a shortcut and it is a breach of people's privacy. So do it properly. Especially they were doing it for a millionaire property developer. He could have had 2 people tailing this person if he had a legitimate reason to be following the brother. Don't forget, we all need legitimate purposes as well. Then use surveillance operatives. It's more expensive, absolutely, but it's not against the law and you're not going to lose your livelihood. So that is me for today. Oh, and I'm going to give myself one more plug here. Sorry, Mike. He was here, he's gone. So next week is these will be my last beginners workshops for Melbourne. So you've got the 3rd or the 4th, so which is the Wednesday or the Thursday. They're 9 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. So they're short, but they're really intense. And as I said, I talk about your intelligence cycle, your foundational principles, ethics and legalities, and you will leave having a really good idea and a really good skill set to help you with your desktop investigations. So I go through the tools and techniques that I use, and it'll really help you with your career, and it'll stop you from being an OSINT cowboy. So come along. I would love to see you there. There aren't too many tickets left, and I suggest you get in quick because government departments tend to come in last minute and scoop all of them up. So if you're thinking about it, buy a ticket this afternoon, and I would love to see you there.
Great advice, Casey. Thank you very much. People, for those of you that watched Investigations Uni today, if you haven't watched it yet, basically today in Investigations Uni, I told members of the Academy of Investigation, Risk and Loss Adjusting Professionals who each week come in and watch this. And if you're studying at the Australian Security Academy, you get access to that CPD program. Basically today, I told them how to get a license legally, how to get the ability to investigate across state borders legally in Australia. So if you don't know how to do that, right, mutual recognition is one way. You only have to get 5 other states and 1 territory mutual recognition. And basically I added it all up. And if you want to be licensed in every state and territory in Australia on the 29th of August 2025, given that it's 3 years, and in Tasmania and South Australia you have to pay $8.95 every year, it's going to cost $17,200 today to become licensed in every state and territory. You can see all that over Investigations Uni. And I gave participants in the program today the solution to saving some $16,205 on that process, and how for $995 they can legally get a pass to investigate in every other state and territory. Now, the big issue here,
Maybe.
Speak to Casey. It's public holiday. The big issue with licensing is, and this is the thing, only clients want you to be licensed. So the clients are insurance companies, corporations, government departments. They want you to be licensed so they know and they can have faith that you have had a criminal history check done, a background check done on, you're a suitable person to hold their confidential files and information for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accident, CTP liability, general insurance, all that sort of thing. But it's a very expensive, a very laborious process. Now, the owners of all investigation agencies that have $3 million, $5 million, $8 million contracts with clients, they have a license in every state and territory. $17,200 to them is peanuts when you've got $4 million contracts with insurance companies and you've got 140 investigators working for you all around Australia. But if your business has just taken off, you're kicking goals. You're doing OSINT and you're doing general insurance and workers' compensation, a bit of bullying, harassment, a bit of racial discrimination, sexual harassment, and you are having to suddenly start going over the border to other states and you're not licensed there. You can't do it. You are not allowed to. But with what I explained today, the system and the cost in investigations, you need to get over there, have a look at it. You've been invited by email. You can do it for $995 in September and October of this year, right? And legally get the capability to investigate in every other state and territory. This has always been the case. You've been allowed to do it, but it's never been more affordable than it is today. And the reason for that is the case on the weekend. So the emerging technologies and the demand for OSINT investigators to have to comply. And we've made the solution here only at the Australian Security Academy for the people who want to do that. Now, it's 59 minutes of solution and you've got to get your head around it and you need 2 years industry experience. Otherwise, it's really not going to be of any use to you because you will not know what subrogation or estoppel is. And you have to know that to go into this process. But 2 years down the track, every investigator knows what they are. And basically, you will then have the capability to offer your services to clients legally in every state and territory in Australia. So today, the price of that is not $17,200, you save $16,205. It's $995 for you to be able to do that. Find out how, go over to investigations. You don't ring me up about it. Haven't got time. Okay, email me if you want to participate in it. September and October only. So that's really important. If you're looking for work as a licensed private investigator, this is our jobs page. We try and update that as much as possible. Boy, have we been busy the last couple of weeks. It's been very difficult to update that. But if you are in New South Wales, Queensland, or Victoria, Western Australia, South Australia, and you're looking for work as a licensed private investigator, and you're halfway through your study, then you can demonstrate you're halfway through. I can introduce you to employers who want to speak to you. If you're an Australian Security Academy student, they have experience of successful experience of other Australian Security Academy students. They've asked me to let them know who's coming through even before they're licensed. So I can do that, and I will introduce you to them if you let me know of your interest. Now, a lot of people already have an employer lined up. They don't need me to help them, and they don't need our Facebook page as well, but we do that as part of the service of what we do. But there is abundant work out there. I have a client in Tasmania who is looking for a business partner. Yeah. Now, this client gave half his business to another partner 3 years ago. As a result of that, their work's doubled. They got more work than ever. And now they're looking for another business partner. They would prefer an experienced lady investigator to add diversity to their team. All right. If you're in Tasmania and you're a licensed private investigator and you are interested in being introduced to an established investigation firm that operates ethically, pays their staff on time, is a great place to work, two of their managers are both teachers for the Australian Security Academy. Their success has been phenomenal. They diversified into lots of other businesses as well, and they want to hear from you. They do code of conduct investigations for government, bullying, harassment, racial discrimination, inappropriate conduct. They do workers' compensation investigations, general insurance fraud investigations. And this week, as a result of their work, a letter was issued by an insurance company denying a claim for $1.2 million on an arson claim. Wow. As a result of their work. They're doing and living what you and I came into this industry to do, fraud investigations and general insurance. You're never going to get better fraud investigations than general insurance. So they're looking for a business partner down in Tassie. Like I said, they did expressly ask for a lady because they need to add that diversity to their skill set and client offerings. So without being rude, that's the reason why. So if you are in Tassie, license, or you want to move to Tassie, I can make that introduction for you. That's a pretty significant opportunity, this one. Both people, highly professional, very experienced. They're just looking to bring that next person into it. So one of them can retire in the midterm in a few years' time. So that's exciting news that we've got this week. In Victoria, keep in mind, people, in Victoria, you have to do 25 hours of face-to-face training if you are studying to be a licensed private investigator at the Australian Security Academy. Next week, we will be introducing how we formalise that so you can see that and follow your progress in that. It incorporates what we do over at Investigations Uni, plus replays, plus live. So we'll have a little bit of an announcement on that to help you through to meet your compliance requirements there and keep a record of it. At the moment, you can just still, as always, just say hi in the chat when you're doing that as part of your commitment to that training when you tune in every Friday. But we'll have an update on that next week. Casey, thanks very much. Just a reminder to people, if you want to do OSINT investigations and you want to do them nationally, Casey's got the training, we've got the system and the solution here at the Australian Security. It's legal, it's always been in place, and you'll be able to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thank you for your participation and your comments. We'll see you next week on Spy Curious episode 331, when Casey is exhausted and has just flown back from Melbourne after going to bed early the night before at 7 p.m. Thanks, David. And we'll hear all about the weather in Melbourne next week. Thanks, Michelle. Great to hear from you. G'day, Emily. Thanks for saying goodbye. We'll see you next week. People will go out in our usual way when I can find it.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
And that's how they end their week. Every week at every investigation agency and government department in Australia, we all go, mission accomplished, mission complete. See you next week, people. Thanks for watching. See you then. I'm Mike Evans with Casey Evans from the Australian Security Academy.